Dear friends, welcome. A warm welcome to FYBCom Additional English Classroom. This is Dr. Tejesh Bildar, working as an assistant professor in Nashik Shikshan Prasarak Mandal, Arts and Commerce, Mahila Mahavidyalaya, Nasik Road. Friends, in the part 1, in the part first, in the session first, we have discussed about a poem by Rabindranath Tagore, Where the Mind is Without Fear. We have seen that the basic information about the poet and the poem. We had the R1 reading 1. We had also discussed glossary, the structure of the poem. Basically, it is free verse. The central idea or say ideas of the poem, freedom or unity or oneness, and I have given you the assignment. Hope you solve the assignment. Today we will have the line wise analysis of the poem, and we will try to write down the summary of the poem. Students, in a very quick succession, will refer to the discussion of part 1. In the part first, we have seen the basic information about the poet Rabindranath Tagore. We have also dealt with the basic information about the poem Where the Mind is Without Fear, basically its source, information about its translation, and about the basic ideas discussed in the poem. We have discussed the glossary, the difficult words. We have also dealt with the structure of the poem as free verse. Then we dealt with the central ideas of the poem, the themes of the poem, basically freedom and unity or oneness. Hope you have solved the given assignment. Students, this is the agenda for part 2. We had the recap. Now we'll go for R2, reading 2 of the poem. We will also deal with glossary, the difficult words, and thereafter we will have the line-wise analysis of the poem. At the end, we will write down the summary. Dear students, time to go for R2, reading 2 of the poem, whereby I want you to identify the structure of the poem, the important figure of speeches used in the poem, and the central idea or ideas used in the poem. Once you will do it, I want you to sum up the poem in your own words. Now we'll go for R2.
Where the mind is without fear, and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms to its perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into the ever-widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom, my father, let my country awake.
Students, now we will discuss the glossary, say the difficult words. Where the head is held high refers to the pride in one's freedom, say a kind of respect for living. Fragments in the sense small pieces. Narrow domestic walls refers to discrimination due to caste, creed, class, religion, gender, etc. Tireless striving refers to constant struggle. In Marathi, what we call satacche prayatna. Clear stream of reason refers to the rule of reason, being rational, being very scientific. Dreary in the sense dull or gloomy. Dead habits in the sense outdated practices. Here it means superstitions, thought and action, the two facets of balanced personality. बोले तैसा चाले त्याची वंदावी पावले. Dear students, now we will go for line-wise analysis. In this poem, Rabindranath Tagore expresses his love for his country and countrymen. He prays to the Father, to the Almighty, to the God for country's well-being. You must have observed that the poem is a kind of prayer, and the poet says that his countrymen should not live in fear. His countrymen must live with respect, dignity, honesty, and perfection. The poet prays to the God, to the Almighty, to the Father for the freedom of his beloved nation. Now we'll analyze the first two lines. The first line of the poem is the title itself and is very important. Where the mind is without fear, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high. In this line, fear refers to the fear in the minds of our countrymen, in the minds of Indians due to British rule, due to British Raj. The poet is depicting, is speaking about the miserable, sad life led by the people who were dominated who were ruled, controlled by the British. The poet wants India as a country where the people are free from the fear and they live a dignified, respectful life. The poet says that freedom can be achieved. We can achieve freedom when the mind is fearless and our head is held high with the respect and dignity. Now we'll move to the third line where knowledge is free. The poet says that having freedom, say independence, will also give our countrymen the freedom to have knowledge, the freedom to acquire knowledge, and thus our countrymen will become self dependent. And we know that this freedom to acquire knowledge was restricted, was controlled during the British Raj, British rule. Now we'll move to the line number 4, 5, 6 and 7. We'll begin with line number 4. Where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls. Students, the British used the divide and rule policy against us, against the Indians, to make us fight among our own selves. There was discrimination, say narrow domestic walls. This discrimination was based on caste, creed, class, color, race, religion, or maybe language. In view of this situation, the poet appeals that the people should value unity, they should value oneness, and they should not observe the walls of discrimination, what he calls narrow domestic walls. Moving to the next line, line number 6, where words come out from the depth of truth, means that the countrymen, say Indians, should live their lives with honesty and utmost truth. They should live and lead the life of truth. We'll move to the line number 7, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection. In this line, personification is used for tireless striving. The poet said that our goal should be to have perfection. In the sense, our own country should be the ideal country, and all those years of struggle should finally reach its goal of having freedom and perfection. Now we'll move to line number 8 and 9 together, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit. Here, poet uses metaphor for reason and habit. The poet refers to reason as a clear stream which is pure and not contaminated. The poet appeals that the thoughts of people should be clear, noble, honest, and free from all kinds of corruption. Dreary desert, sand of dead habit refers to the outdated ideas, refers to the evils in the society. For example, superstitious practices that lack logic and reason. Now we'll move to the last three lines of the poem, where the mind is led forward by thee in the sense you, into ever widening thought and action into that haven of freedom. My Father, let my country awake. In these last three lines, the poet prays to the Father, to the Almighty, to the God, for his support, for his guidance, to have freedom or independence. The poet wishes his countrymen to lead forward, to live by their noble thoughts and actions. The poet refers to freedom as heavenly place, what we call Swarga, and addresses God as Father. He is asking God to awaken his people for oneness, for unity, and for freedom of their own country.
Dear students, as promised, we'll write down the summary of the poem. The poem is written in just one single sentence of 12 lines. The regular rhyme scheme or rhythm is absent as it is written in free verse. The theme, say the theme of freedom, and the structure, that is free verse, becomes one. Due to the British rule, people were living in fear. They could not live a dignified and respectful life in their own country. They were illiterate and superstitious. The British used the divide and rule policy. There were narrow domestic walls. That is, the discrimination based on caste, creed, class, color, race, and religion was there. In view of this, Tagore wants a country where there is no fear in the minds of people and education is available for all. The people will value unity or oneness and will not observe the walls of discrimination. They will be honest and thoughtful and surely awake and have beautiful haven of freedom. In all, Rabindranath Tagore became sad by the miserable lives of Indians under the British rule, under the British Raj. Thus, Tagore prays to the Almighty, to the God, to the Father for its well-being. In his prayer, Tagore says that his countrymen should not live in fear anymore and must do away with the evils of society. They must live with respect, dignity, honesty, and perfection, and hence freedom and unity is a must. Tagore prays God to awaken his countrymen for independent nation, that is heaven. Hope you like today's part 2 regarding the poem Where the Mind is Without Fear. In case of any query, please refer to part 1 and you can also write down to me at tejasbildar143@gmail.com. And as usual, you can contribute to our discussion forum which is available on our Google Classroom FYBCom Additional English 2020-21. Thank you. Thank you for watching this part 2.